Welcome to the Four Corners series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and I want to start this video with an overview of a mod that was released on the 6th of September 2021. I have been watching this in the future. It was produced by Vipernon, and what I would like to say is that this mod shows the possibilities of shipping in the early 1900s, and the actual mod, as you can obviously see from the pictures, is actually a sailing ship, and it's actually called a caravel. What I'm going to do is go through the description, talk a little bit about the ship itself, and then talk about the implications for a 1900 start. So we'll just go down and read Viper's description. It says, leave a like if you want to see more ships of this type. I've definitely put a like on this because I would like to see more sailing ships and very early steamships around for a 1900 start. The only question I've actually got is, why do we always start in 1900? Why can't we go back to about 1880, 1890? But never mind, that's aside from me. It says here, this is a caravel ship. The ship is from the 15th century. So in some ways, it's a little bit out of context for a 1900 start. But I think to give it a little bit of support, if we come down here, you can see Harder Daddy says, wish we could do tourism trips with a ship like this and have it as an attraction, as it would be awesome. And I think this is one of the things that, I mean, I live in the southern part of the UK, and very close to where I live is HMS Warrior, which is one of the first ironclad warships. It's still literally afloat today. And of course, we got the great HMS Victory, which is in dry dock. That was Nelson's flagship at the Battle of Trafalgar. Although if you went and saw it today, it would probably look a bit tatty around the edges because it's currently being rebuilt. And of course, if we go up to, I think, is it Bristol, is it the Great Eastern or the Great Western, I can never remember which one it is, which is there. And of course, we've got the Cutty Sark, which is one of the great clipper ships, which I'll be talking about later on. I can't remember where it is. It's in London. I can't actually remember exactly where in London it is now. And of course, up north, I think we've got another ship as well. I think in America, you've got the Constitution. So even if you were playing a normal game, it could be quite fun to actually put this ship in and use it as an attraction. And the way I would use it as an attraction is I would probably set up a little route for it to sail backwards and forwards, so it would be sailing around the map, even though it wouldn't be contributing much towards the economy. Anyway, moving on with the description, it says it can transport up to 60 tons of cargo. It drives up to 15 kilometers an hour, 8 knots, so 4 knots in game. So it's going to be very slow. So it's available from 1900 to 2001, originally 1450. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. And now this is the interesting bit here. It says, has power of 0.5 kilowatts, so it uses nearly no fuel. Tank is 2.1 tons big. Role play like it's rum. And I quite like that comment because for anyone who's not familiar with maritime history, especially British maritime history, there was a very long tradition in the British Navy that right up even in the days of steam. In fact, I don't think it actually went out of practice until kind of 1960s, 1970s, if correct me if I'm wrong, where sailors on ships would be routinely served a tot of rum every day, and that was part of the privilege. So this comment about role play, it was like they're running on ships, because ships literally did run on rum, especially back in the days of the sailing ships and what you could call the great golden age of sail, when you had the great big warships like HMS Victory. So I quite like that comment. It says there's a length of 23 meters, which is tiny. It makes it way cuter than that is, don't you think? Yeah, I've actually gone into my Divided series and actually purchased this ship in. And compared alongside all the normal size ships, it does look very tiny. This disclaimer, I do not really know the name of this type of ship, so for any ship enthusiastic, I'm sorry miscalling it a caravel. I don't comment how it may be called, so I don't know, kind of change it. Thanks to Wild Bunny for helping me to implement it. Taken from Turbo Squid for free, rights are reserved to its owners. Yeah, I can understand Vipermon's nervousness about calling this a caravel, because the caravel has had a very long history, and because its actual roots is in Islamic history. At that time, it was a lantern rigged, which, if anyone's not sure what a lantern rigged ship is, if you see the stern sail on here, it would have had large triangular sails. In fact, if you, probably the best reference, if you've ever seen pictures of some of the boats on the Nile, even today, with their big long angular yard with a big sail underneath, that is what's called a lantern rigged ship. And that was the original caravels and where the name comes from. But going forward in history, what actually happened is that the ship was a bit obviously adapted by the Europeans. The versions of the caravel were used by Christopher Columbus to discover America. The Portuguese created the larger ships here, which is eventually had the square rigged sails, which they with the what was left of the lantern rig at the back here. These ships were actually used by the Portuguese, I think the Spanish, I think even the Dutch used them, even the British, to actually open up the spice trade to the Far East, the proper spice trade, not the one that Columbus thought he'd found. And what actually happened is at the end of the 1500s, going into the 16th, 17th century, I think it was the Portuguese put a forecastle on it and an aft castle. I think you can just see it in the picture there. And that forecastle actually became the forecastle. And then what you've actually got is the stern castle at the back, which can't remember, the poop deck, I think it is. And that actually became the pattern of all sailing ships right up into the mid 1800s. So in some ways, the caravel and this ship shape is the one that most people recognize, especially if they watch pirate films. It's a very significant ship in history, and that's one of the reasons why I actually like the fact that Vipernon started with this. Now, hopefully, if you're going to follow the Four Corners series, this ship is probably going to make an appearance somewhere, even if it's just for the sheer fun of it. Now, what I will say, if to Vipermon or anyone else who's going to consider making a mod for a sailing ship for the 1900s, there's two very prominent ship types which were around, which were trying to compete with the Age of Steam. One was called the clipper ships, which the Cutty Sark is quite a prominent example of, which still exists in Greenwich. That's it. That's the name of where the Cutty Sark is. Now, the clipper ships were actually used originally for the tea run, where the new crop of tea in China was brought back to England, and the fastest ships got the best prices. And after the clipper came ships called windjammers. Now, windjammers were, I think some of them had up to 5 masts, and they were big ships. And what they were used for is to go down to like Australia to pick up the wool and to bring it back to Europe. And in fact, it's quite strange, if I remember correctly, the last advocate of windjammers was actually somebody who lived in Sweden. And these ships actually did give the steamships a good run for their money because, of course, they didn't need to stop for coal and they could sail pretty quickly. In fact, some of them were actually faster than the actual steamships at the time because they eventually lost out to steam as steam became more and more efficient. So what I would say is for anyone who's actually planning on doing a mod has a context for 1900, looking at windjammers and clipper ships might be a good option. So I think that's probably enough on this mod. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quit out and I'm going to load the proper gameplay. So here we are on the Four Corners map. We're picking up the series on the 1st of February 1913. It's still winter. The game is on pause for a reason I will explain in a little while. But first things first, as usual, a big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys give me so much to think about. Now, one question I did get was related to universities and research, and somebody did ask me whether the research was behind some kind of date lock. It's not. The thing you've got to remember is with universities in the game is that there's 3 types, but the only one that actually does research are technical universities. Now, the tiny university up here is actually a party HQ university. If I come in here into normal universities and show you education, what we've got here, you see we've got a medical university, a technical university, and headquarters of the Communist Party. But it's only the technical university that actually supports. It's only the technical university that supports research. I mean, to be honest, this is not a major issue because the actual research that you have to do to develop the game is not particularly difficult, and it normally relates to some of the later kind of buildings which you wouldn't be really rushing to build first thing, like the mechanical component factory, electrical component factory, the hall assembly. I think it also relates to chemicals, but of course there is a little bit of a dodge if you want to is the fact that the mods are not restricted behind research because of the way the game mechanics done. So you can still produce all those items by using mods. So in some ways you could go through the whole game and not do any research whatsoever. So it's not particularly that big an issue. Now, another question I got was related to the building of this farm here, and someone said that I needed to get a local workforce out to get to actually work on the farm and improve productivity. And what I'm thinking at the moment is that where I will probably bring quite a lot of the new residential stuff and out in this direction, because we've got to get schools and items here. So the growth of the village, even though the center is here, will be I don't know if I can, let's just have a quick look. Actually, you can see this 172. So if I start putting residential out in this area, they'll still be able to get into the services here, and they should at least be able to provide workers to the nearest 2 fields here. But the other thing I'm also considering is that we may go out this way, and I may have another farm just here. But another option is to take the residential area out here and have another farm in this area, either in this position or this position, because really this farm is meant to be a kind of shared resource between the 2 villages. Because one concern I do have is with the production of alcohol and how much that's going to consume it in the way of crops. And the other thing I'm thinking is that there's a very real possibility that this farm here could become one of our first collective farms, which means it would be taken down and reshaped in the 1927. So in some ways this is just reserving the space for that collective farm. But I mean, at the moment everything is pretty fluid. I think that's it now. What I want to do is show you what I'm doing. I think this is the guy here. Now I think that's probably enough on the comments. If I think of anything else as we go forward, I'll mention it. Now the problem I've got is we've got a fire up here, which, because I put this building way out on this area here, and we got our fire truck is just leaving. What I want to do is track, see what his speeds are. So we're just going to let the game run. And at the moment you can see his speed is 12 kilometers an hour, so it's actually half the speed of its top speed, which is a bit of a cause for concern, because I'm starting to wonder I doubt very much we're actually going to get out there. But what I want to do is, you see now we're on this area here. So he's just navigated this corner, and what we got here is a little bit of gravel road here next to the priest's house. And what I want to see is whether he will speed up as he goes along here on the gravel road. So we're just going to let him run up through here. And right, he's now moving on there. 16, 18, 12. It's back to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. Of course, he's come off the gravel now and he's back to 12. So I think this is additional evidence for the fact that we do really need to get these roads gravelled to improve our fire coverage. I'm just going to speed up now because there's no more gravel roads up here. I don't think he's going to make it, which means we're going to lose this warehouse and the available crops. In fact, he's not even going to get close, is he? Oh, I don't know. I think if these were gravelled, he might have reached it, but he's not. No, there it goes. Bang. We've lost a store, which means I really need to get the focus on getting this one finished, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now, the other thing I've been thinking about is to try and specialize out some of these construction offices. I don't think these are really working as general construction offices. So I think that's what another objective I want to do in this video. But one of the first things we're going to need to do is get in here, and I'm making a concrete hauler here. And something I didn't show you when we were one thing I didn't show you when we were looking at this building in the last part was the fact that you can open this up to allocate the buildings, which I think with respect to the moving these small draft horses and that will be quite important. What I want to do is just get these out here. We're just going to get this farm machinery over here, because I've been went a bit overboard with the open holes, I realise, and I think that should be enough to get me started. I can't remember if that will fill that up. Now, as I say, I'm producing a couple of concrete guys here, and we got one more to go. Now, the next thing I want to build here is a couple of fire based on what's just happened. And in fact, yeah, we could build 2, because what we got down here is this is being built and we need to get things done. Now what I want to do is, as these concrete trucks come in, I want to put all the concrete trucks in here, and I think we got a couple of dumpers in here at the moment, and I'm just going to hook you out and send you to, I'm not sure that I've got space up here at the moment, have I? Oops. Where is it? I can't actually find the building here. I'm going to send the dumper out to there. I think I've got a little bit of extra space here. Yeah. I'm going to send the 2 dumpers out to here. So that this guy, I need to see what he's assigned to. I think that is crop storage. Yeah. I think I'm just going to leave that the way it is for the moment. The other thing I do need to do is assign this to, or for, we need this distribution office built before the summer comes in as well. Now I'm aware that what I've done is I pulled the dumpers out of here. So what I want to do is we're going to have a construction office down here, which is going to deliver the asphalt. So we're going to come here. Whoops. Construction office. And I think I'm just going to. Oops, no. We're going to put a construction office there. One thing I think I forgot to do, let me just check. Yeah, he's got asphalt out here. We do have a possible issue. He's on asphalt. Yeah, so this guy, so what we can do is ensure that this gets what it needs from here. Let me just check here. You've got that there. What I want to do is build. We got a little bit of a concrete guy here, and what I'm going to do is assign everyone except the new village construction office. You're going to come in there. And as I say, what I want to do is really highly specialize this area here. Now, I did start building these factory connections, and they did become a little bit of a distraction, especially with the relationship to the fact that this is the office is the only one with workers, and it's the way it's going to have to stay at the moment. I just want to make sure. Yeah, you've got allocations to that and that. You're not allocated to that. It's not good. You need to be allocated to that. And I'd also like to get this built as well. Who's the missing one here? We're going to need New Hope main construction on this as well. So this is going to be a little bit in the way of catch up. Right, we're now on the fire trucks. Just get you in. Oh, the workplace is full. Why is this full? I think I've still got a dumper in here, haven't I? I think we'll just send you to, yeah. I've got a bit of an overflow here because I got a bit too carried away with the open holes. Effectively, this construction office is going to just provide workers. We've got one covered hole in here because they're the one that's going to deliver any mechanical components or electrical components. And what we'll have is that will leave us with, I think it's 4 concrete trucks. So that's the idea behind that. We do need to get this built as well, because what I wouldn't mind doing is, before we get into the harvest season, is move some of the crops out of these areas here. But we'll just see how that goes. I really would like to get this finished. And say the other thing I would like to do is start kind of putting some gravel roads in, but these guys are out doing quite a lot at the moment. So the buildings are more important than the gravel roads. So I do want to get this going for the moment. And we can get this built. As I say, if I can get this built, we'll make this into a kind of area for delivering gravel and asphalt. There you are. We're just going out of winter, which is good. And hopefully that will then speed up the delivery out to here. Now, when we got the 2 distribution offices out here, the other thing I'm kind of half considering is putting in a couple of kind of storage areas out here so we can start moving bricks and possibly even steel and boards out to here. Heating problem, yes, I know. I think the heating is... Wow, we run out of logs. But we should be okay. What we got here is open store. What's the trees are actually growing up around here, which is making life a little bit difficult. I think we're going to increase the workforce here because I think what's happening is we're pulling off so many boards from here that we're actually not providing any surplus in there. Resource wood. I don't think it's affecting the population that much because these buildings are self-heating. So the occasional disruption to heating is okay. It just means that we produce a little bit of pollution there, it says there. But as long as we got good health cover, we should be okay. We might lose a few more people to deaths than normal. You can see you can get little spikes of death here going up like that. But I think that's just a consequence of what's going on here. Just want to make sure this is full. Yep. Now, let's just come in here. So we're nearly produced our first fire truck, which we need to get down to here. Now, I have got a bit of a concern about the way things are produced here. In fact, let me just see. Yeah, we've only got 13 tons of crops left, which is a potential issue. But actually, I think what we're going to do is we got Hugh here. Oops, no. Let me see. Just want to check the... Yeah, it is unload, and it is 13. It is set up here. Yeah, back to what I was talking about. If I come down to here, what you will see is we've already maxed out the electronics, but we've got no steel. So what I'm going to have to do is just push that electronics up. But of course, we've now got plastics. I've got a feeling that what I may have to do going forward is do something about the minor products, because I think the gate is slightly unbalanced. And I think that's the reason why we've stopped producing stuff. I'm not too sure what to do about the plastics and the electronics, but I'm kind of thinking like we've got 1.86 in the way of electro components. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook the electro components out of here, and we're just going to go up here. And I think this is what I'm going to have to do going forward. So here, you're going to load electro components, and you're going to unload them there. I don't know what that North Cape wagon depot thing is. Okay. So this guy's on his way, and what we're going to do is just keep an eye on him, because we don't have a surplus, and I don't want to open that surplus up too much. So, and I don't really want to sell the electronic components either. So we're just going to keep an eye on him. When he gets down to here, what we're going to have to do is just increase this and then decrease it again very briefly, so that we can get things working. Got a fire truck here. We don't have the fire station just yet though. Nearly there though. We need 1.7 tons of bricks, I think we'll put. Okay. So just keep an eye on him. Where are you? Oh, you're still coming up here. Right, these guys have gone back. They've done any deliveries they want to do. I'm kind of... I think what I am going to do is we're going to build a road through there. And it's going to cause a little bit of disruption. But if these guys are sat around doing nothing, I would prefer them to be doing something. And we need to get this built. Have you got there yet? Okay, he's just arrived. He's just picked up the things. Of course, that means he's cleared out all the mechanical components here. So what we're going to need to do is just get here. And he's got 1.3 tons on there. So we're going to have to make this up to, what, nearly 7 tons. That's him there. So we're just going to increase this to very quickly get him to unload. I think at this rate we may not have a problem with electrical components and mechanical components, or electronic components, mechanical components. Just let him unload. Right, he's just unloaded. You can go back to here. Just reduce the electronic components down again. Yeah, I think that would do. That would stop them being imported. I'm just gonna, oops, just let the game run now. This is coming along quite nicely. Right, we've now got the fire station built. I want to see what we've got queued up here. What I need now is a couple of dumpers. I'm gonna build 2 dumpers. And we're gonna pick you up. Oops, gone too far. And we're gonna send this fire truck down to here. I think this will take 3 fire trucks, but I think to start with, 2 fire trucks will be enough. Hopefully. I'll say once this is built, okay, main construction. I don't think this guy's assigned to it, is he? Yes, he is. We just need to wait for. Yeah, they're just waiting on boards. I think probably what's happened is I've stripped all the boards out of here. I've got a feeling that I'm going to need another truck running here to try and get. How's the workforce here? Yeah, we're not really getting the workforce in here. But I think once this rush of construction finishes, we can build the boards back up again. I think. Plus, I think I've disrupted the supply here as well. Right, we've now started sewing out here, and of course we've got our sewing out here. These have actually finished. So we're going to get these sewn and ready to go. So we need to build this and keep building this, get this done. Got any dumpers? Yeah, I've got 2 dumpers down here, haven't I? I've got 1 dumper, sorry. So many open stalls, I just don't know what to do with them all. The idea is to get, say, 4 or 5 dumpers into here, and they can bring out the gravel and the asphalt and start shipping it around the map. And I would like to, actually, let me just do something here. This road kind of hangs around doing nothing, isn't it? I'm just wondering, because I'd like to gravel this out here, but that would be quite a big winter job. In fact, what I'd probably do is split it into sections. But what I would like to do is we build a mud road coming. I mean, it'd be brilliant if I could connect it to there, but it won't, will it? Of course, we can't get through here. We could create a temporary road there. I think we would have to come in kind of very close like that, and then what we'll be able to do is gravel one of these and then the other, possibly create a temporary road through here when we do that. Although truthfully, if I get everything built out here, we could just disrupt everything for a little while, get things sorted there, and then once this link's built, then we don't have to worry about it. I mean, this is a bit of a vulnerable link, and it could represent a traffic jam in the future. But if that happens, what we'll have to do is take down this field here and kind of rework everything in this area. I mean, I think this is something that I do need to talk a little bit about, in the sense that in this series, a lot of the things that are being placed are going to be knocked down and rebuilt over time. This isn't going to be very much like the vanilla game where everything is placed and it's placed forever. This is just, I mean, one of the things I would like to do in this series is kind of demonstrate how the economy's evolved over time. I think we could probably get in another, and we could want to put in another gravel road up there. Get this guy going. I mean, we're only working on gravel. These guys are going there. I think we've only got one horse-drawn crane in there. That's good. We've now got our first fire truck in there. Hopefully that will give us a bit more cover. And you can go and work in there as well. That makes me feel a bit happier about this side. But of course, there's no point pretending that these guys are going to get out here to protect a fire here. So it's here, concrete. See this? Do I have a problem with concrete? I mean, it can be cannot store export. So really, it's about picking the concrete up and getting out. And I think there's probably a concrete truck rolling out here. It's just taking its own kind of sweet time. Yeah, looks like we just had a bit of a delivery. I mean, this is a long haul out here, and this is one of the problems that's going to be building this out. So we need to keep a few building projects going here. I mean, we're on the 27th of March, although, well, we can only do what we can do. I think somebody mentioned about possible crop food shortages going forward. That's the Carpenters Workshop. What are we doing here? I think part of the problem is that we're not gaining against this, are we? And he's kind of stealing the wood. It's almost like we need a secondary production here to kind of help with the production of wood now, because neither of these are building up fast enough to be able to do something, because we do really need to get the 20 tons back in here. But then again, it's early, it's quite early, and the temperature's quite cold, so I mean, I could shut this down and see how it goes. Maybe once we get to a certain point, we can do that. Meat culture, yeah, culture might be a bit of an issue, so we may have to put another culture building in. We've got another kindergarten going now, so we should be okay. I think I'm going to remove that now and let these guys kind of decide themselves where they want to work, because I think the population is getting big enough. We've got 474 workers now, and we should be okay. Actually, thinking about that, yeah, we're going to need to keep an eye on that so we can build some more residences. Get back to our building here. Okay, I mean, we don't have a lot in the way of crops as well, so got 2-horse dumper, a dumper there. So, right, this is now finished. Gravel up, so, and literally all you're going to do is deliver gravel and asphalt. Right, we nearly finished that. See, this needs 21 tons of gravel, so what I'm going to do is assign all, got auto detect on, go away. I wish there was a way you could set the auto detect to be off on build. I'm just going to assign you. What else are we building here? We've got one more dumper. I feel inclined to. I'm going to build 2 more dumpers. 2 horse dumper. We're going to build 2 more dumpers, and then we're going to go into the covered holes. And we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 covered holes. This is, although what's going to happen is this is going to fill up. Really need to move these things out. Some of these out. I think, can we put there here? Out another one. I think that literally fills this place up here. Well, I could sell some of these, I suppose, for a bit of cash, but we're going to need these for a something eventually. I don't think I'm going to have a shortage of. Right, we've now got this here. Ah, yeah, well, okay, that's good. Because what I want to do now, I can do now is we're just going to hook up 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you're a dumper. I want you. You can go there. And what we're going to do is I want to put quite a lot of open holes into here. In fact, we can probably fill this virtually up with open holes. And all these open holes I put down here. Another, this is a 2 horse dumper. You need to go into there. You're at a 2 horse open hole. You're an open hole as well. I think I'm just going to pull 2 more open holes out here. What I want to do is leave 1 covered hole, 1 open hole into here. And that's what I would like to do. Whoops. Seeing these small farms out here is be a little bit tricky. And what I want to do is we're going to assign steel and bricks and boards here. And effectively what this guy's going to do is haul out anything that's going to come out to here. Oh, that's the idea anyway. You're going to need steel, so what we're going to do is assign again, we got the auto assign. Let's turn this all off. Don't want all this here. And I need you on that and that. What? Yeah, workers no mechanism. So you're just building this area here, log distro. Yep. Actually, you've got. What have you got in here? Oops. You've got a few dumpers. I'm just wondering. I think what I might do. No one's going to come up here, are they? I think we're just going to give you a long-term project just to keep you out of mischief. I think if we assign that road there, because we won't have these guys sat around doing nothing. And we've got another dumper. Right, we've got a warehouse here. Just going to pause. I think we're not going to. We're going to have to limit the amount, aren't we? Because what I don't really want is the alcohol and fabric coming back into this building here. So what we're going to do now is we certainly would like to add you to this as an unload point. And also what I'd like to do is add you as well as an unload point. And we're going to put 90% there. And what that should do is we've got no crops in here, but what I would like to do is we've got this warehouse here and we've got the farm here. I think what I'd like to do is empty this warehouse. New Hope Silo 2. And what we're going to do is I can find New Hope Silo 2. That's it there. I'm just going to put this in as a loading point, because ideally what I'd like to do is pick up this. Did I do that right? Yep. Did I put? I'm sure I put you on here. 50%, 90%. Get my loads and unloads tangled up. Maybe these guys feel that you got 40 odd tons in there. Okay, if you don't want to deliver it, let's just double check this. Horse feeding station 79%. New Hope Raw Stone. Actually, let's just rename these, I think, so I actually know what this is. New Hope. We'll call it fabric crops in there. So I can actually tell what that actually is. Obviously, this doesn't want to pick up from there. I'd like to have emptied this into here so that these truck wagons won't have to go all the way across the map. We just take another. And what we're going to do is empty that, but we're going to have to be a bit careful that we don't steal all the crops from there. So we have to keep an eye on that. Stop production. Right, got another. Am I producing endless dumpers now? No, we should be producing covered wagons. One more open hole, but you down here. Right, where do I need you? I think what I am going to do is I'm going to assign you to here, because you need some asphalt into there. Or not asphalt. Actually, let me just... I think what we can do, these guys are kind of sat around doing nothing. So what we could do is get this link built. What I'm thinking is to come this way and get the fabric and the clothes built first before we actually focus on getting the alcohol online, because I would really like to ensure that we get good production from here. What I want to do is really need to get the workforce out here. So yeah, so they should be working, any workforce should be coming out to here. Of course they're on the wrong side, gravel and boards. Okay. Yeah, you should be delivering to here, so these guys are working on this little bit of road here. Let's go back to our log office. I'm a little bit worried about this. Let me just look at the export. So we're exporting boards at the moment, and I think that might be draining the resources out of here. I think what I'm going to do is find the truck that's exporting boards. Although technically this should slow down. Actually, let me just Is anything I'm building at the moment needs boards? This guy does. He needs the boards, lots of. Okay. We need 24 tons of boards. You just need steel. Right, we got the crane in here. We just need the workforce to finish this. This could be a close run thing. I just got this guy running round. You're going to the construction office. These guys are just literally snagging everything in sight at the moment. Well, we're just going to have to go with it. Well, I don't think there's much I can do about it. And let's see if I can find that's the North Cape Trading. Yeah, I think this guy's just stealing all the boards all the time. So what we're going to have to do is just send him to there for the moment. I think he's just running backwards and forwards because he's not on a distribution office, which is what we probably need to do is, we just see here, is this guy picking up boards? Let me just see what's in here. Got a couple of open holes sat here, so what we can do now is we're just going to change this so that he will pick up boards here, but you can't pick up boards until it's over 60%, and you can unload here and you can unload the boards. And what that should do is ensure that we'll only export boards as and when we're making a profit. We got a couple of open holes that can do it, so that should fix that problem. Oops, sorry. Oh, I'm gonna have to assign you to there because I think that is too short for the what we call it, craney things. Technical term there, craney thing. We can a bit of a footpath there. I think we're just do a little bit of footpath work, I think, for the moment. And that can, I mean, it'd be nice to fill in some of this, but get that built. Now the fire engine going up this way, going out through here, didn't it? But kind of reluctant to disturb anything just at the moment. So we got this little guy here doing his own thing. Right, we've now built the silo. So we've got, on the 11th of May, we got the silo, and we just need 3.8 tons of boards to get this up and running. And then we have to send the covered holes out. Just take a look at this here. Yeah, we've got the problem again. We are getting steel, but the plastics again is growing. Go like that. I'm not sure if I can get this into balance because the big, what we could do is just keep expanding this, but we'll see how it goes. But eventually we're going to get to a point where we're going to be full of plastics and electro components. I mean, you can see here we've already got 0.97 electronics, so there's going to be a limit. So I mean, question, guys, what do you think what I should do with the electronics and the plastics? I mean, we could use it and sell it in the shop. I mean, the electronics, but the plastics, I'd hate to throw it away. So maybe we can bend the rules a little bit. If the plastics gets too high, we'll just send a single wagon up to take it away and sell it and make a little bit of money that way. We do need to get some income because I'm pretty sure we are losing money again. Yeah, 3,000 odd. And we're down to just over 600,000 rubles, so we do need to get a little bit of profit going here. And you guys and work on that. And we'll just assign. I mean, you've got some spare. We can just keep doing the groundwork through here, these connections here, for the moment. Have you guys got any work to do? I mean, you've kind of stood around. Yeah, you're kind of all banging away at this medium log distribution center here. But at the same time, actually what we could do is, when this is building up, so let's get these guys on the groundworks for another one of these. I think that will work. We've got to deliver concrete, and oops, we're going to have to put you onto it as well. Like, this bit of road has been built. I think what we'll do is, I think this area here is reasonably safe, so I kind of push the road out through here and possibly up to here. That will mean that this fire station will have a chance of getting to here in winter, which will be kind of advantageous. We've now got 3 trucks here. Yeah, no place to store the finished vehicle. I wonder whether this varies according to the size of the vehicle. So we're gonna have to kind of pull you out to here. I think what we may have to do is build another vehicle store, I think. Actually, what we got here, we've got covered holes. Have I got any space out here? Yeah, we've got space for 3. So if I come here, 1, 2, 3. What we'll do is we'll kind of use this as a temporary store. And the advantage with this is that these are going to be close to where they're actually going to be needed. So it means that when this is finished, I can get them into here. Of course, actually, what I wouldn't mind doing is we're going to get. You need concrete and gravel. We're going to put you on groundworks, and we need main construction as well. Let me just see. I don't think I've named these. Right, I'm going to rename you to New Hope. Not New Mope, New Hope. Still, etc. Let's just put full stop at the end. So you're there. I think what we'll do is rename you to New Hope Road Crew. Oops. Rename you to Concrete Ass. Get that done there. I know which one's which. Yeah, I think somebody warned me about this situation where we've got loads and loads of open holes piling up here. How are we doing here? So this is improving. So we're still pulling out some boards, but what's actually doing? But I think we are gaining slightly. Is there a way that I could get another kind of forester in here? Because this guy's not making any dent whatsoever on this area here. But I think part of the problem is that he's now out to here with the trees, where he was a bit more efficient when he was picking up here. Can I get a road out through here somehow? No, you can't get through there. Well, these are footpath connections anyway, aren't they? Kind of box myself in here. Actually, what we could do is I've got quite a big pile here. So what we're going to do is snag one of these guys, clear you out. This might be the more kind of other way of doing it. You're going to load wood, and you're going to, I think if we deliver directly to the heating plant, I think that might work. So what we'll have is a secondary supply to the heating plant here. That should fill this up over time. This is going quite well because these don't consume that much wood, or the smokehouse doesn't. Kind of tempted to build these factory connections. Right, we've now got this built. I'm just going to get you into here. We need to set you up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and no, load. What am I doing? It's unload there. Come on, guys, you can get in there. We've now got this set up for pickup. But these guys are free basing. Do I need? I think what we will do is we'll build one more covered hole that started. We'll build another fire truck, seeing I'm kind of in full flow production now. Just get you out to here. And bring you out to here. And we're going to produce one more covered hole here. So they've got another covered hole here, is it? And that will fill this office up. We still need to build this office here. This is being built. Part of me says let's just put in some small open storage here. Let me just get into here. Storage, where are you? I mean, these don't cost anything, so I don't want this to be too fragmented. So, I think maybe we'll just space it along here. Say something like another one about there. I mean, these don't need any resources, so what we can do is allocate this guy to them. And he can build these two. What that will mean is that once we've got this distribution office working, we can put in some open holes here, and they can start bringing the bricks and steel and boards out to here to production. Although, truthfully, I would like to eventually produce our own boards out here. Possibly also start producing a little bit of coal to be able to produce our own bricks locally as well. But I think initially we're going to need these little stores here. See, these guys are just kind of sat around doing nothing at the moment. So they're kind of in keeping. Let me just... And I've just realised I'm running out of time on the video. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to run around and kind of fill in the last couple of jobs here. So I think we can actually get you there. Just get that last little bit done. What we could do is allocate these guys to here, so maybe we could get that factory connection built. What do we need here? We need just gravel and boards. So I think maybe we can start work on the fabric factory. Of course, you need... Whoops. You're the guy who's going to deliver the boards. So you can come into here. Also keep the guys busy. And you're not are you allocated to here? No, you're not. Okay. I think overall we're doing pretty good at the moment, because we're on the 14th of June and I mean, these are ready to go. We've managed to fulfill the requirement to get this underway. So hopefully, as long as we don't get a fire in this area, we actually get there. We've got no factory connection here, so to begin with, these guys are going to have to deliver in directly. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.